If you're watching this video, you most likely started a healing journey, growth journey, spiritual awakening, or you may be having a hard time with your manifestations, and you might be feeling a little bit stuck and hoping for a little bit of clarity, and that's what I'm here to provide for you. For those of you who don't know, my name is Sam, and I am your friendly host, tarot reader, certified level 1 and 2 Reiki practitioner, and psychic medium, here to offer some guidance with some tried and true experiences and advice that I can offer to people who have felt like me somewhat recently. When you have a specific goal in mind, especially with an idea, this idealized version that you would like to become, or that you would like to embody, sometimes it's really difficult because we connect to the desire to be that person. We see that version of ourselves as separate from our current selves, and that creates a separation. We're not aligning with this person that we most want to be. We're aligning with the energy of wanting to be that person. And when we want something, we are experiencing the lack of it. So 9 times out of 10, when we're manifesting that we want something, it's aligning ourselves with a direction to go, yes, but instead of aligning us with the version of ourselves that we most want to embody by bringing certain aspects into the physical now and taking the aligned action necessary to move forward with that clarity that you've been given, that creates that separation. You see yourself by what qualities you do not have and what you do not have access to. That then is creating that divide, which will continue manifesting as desire. So over time, this can increase pressure, right? Because we want these things to come in at a certain time or at a certain amount of time. We want to experience control over the outcome because we can envision what we most want. The main reason why you haven't been able to experience this is the main purpose of this video, which is divine timing. So what is divine timing? In a spiritual sense, divine timing is the idea that anything is possible. However, it has a different timeline in the spiritual, in the universe, with God, than it does in the physical. So we experience time. We experience time linearly, and spirit, or whatever word you prefer to use, I will use the universe as a blanket term. So the universe does not experience time in the way that we do because time is a man-made construct. The experience of time is a man-made construct as well. It is a cultural, societal creation that we all abide by, right? So spirit does not necessarily align with time in the way that we do. And so when we have this idea of what we'd like to become, the universe is going to put us on a path that has us learn the lessons to integrate that version of ourselves by changing our perspective. How do we change our perspective? We get out of our comfort zone. We have to switch things around. We can't continually do all of the things that we've already done and expect a newer result. For example, this video. 9 times out of 10, my videos are just my hands, me doing a tarot reading. I had thought when I first created this channel that the only way that I would ever be able to handle being a content creator would be if I was behind the camera. And so the universe has continually pushed me again and again and again to get in front of the camera, to make it clear that this is something that I am supposed to be doing. This is a role that I am supposed to be embodying. And I had resistance to that. My ego tried to stop me. So I wanted to create this growth journey. I wanted to just all of a sudden magically snap of my fingers. I'm not afraid to be seen. I'm not afraid to take up space. I'm not afraid to ask for good things that would also require me to be seen and understood by others. But the universe has kind of made it clear that I don't get to choose the journey that brings me to that outcome. Because divine timing and divine redirection can feel like challenges. When I tell you, this journey, especially over the last couple months since I've started this YouTube channel, has felt so deeply uncomfortable somatically in my body, has felt so uncomfortable on an emotional level, but I'm genuinely now transmuting all of that, because I recognized that I was living in a timeline, I was living in a version of my life that was keeping these reinforcements of, it's not safe for me to take up space, it's not safe for me to talk about how I feel, it's not safe for me to embody the version of myself that I would like to become. It's not up to me at the end of the day how this stuff happens, but it is up to me, my role in it, whether I'm willing to take responsibility for it. And so when this avenue was presented to me through the universe, through meditation, through really sitting with myself, what do I most want? What do I feel most called to do? How can I give out those messages to the people who need to hear it the most, right? How do I do that and still maintain the idea that I am supposed to be small, that I'm supposed to not be in the forefront of anything? And so I didn't create this video to just talk about me. This is, I hope you understand, a very small example of what you may be wanting to bring into your life, what you may want to experience. You may want to be a content creator. You may be trying to get over that hurdle of being afraid of being in front of the camera, in which case I applaud you for your bravery. The idea that we're going to be vulnerable in front of other people is never an easy task. If you are in a position where all you want is one specific thing, say you want a new job. So you want a new job, you're trying to find a new career, and things keep falling through. Things keep randomly showing up in a way. It's 2:34 on the clock right now. That's funny. Things keep redirecting in a way that it's not going anywhere. That's because you might have heard this phrase before, but rejection is divine redirection. A good rule of thumb when you're manifesting is to accept you have limited control in how this thing manifests into your life, and you also have very little control in the outcome. You do have free will. You can decide that you want to go down a certain path, so you want to study something specific and you want to go into a new career field. You can start putting in the work of maneuvering your way through the learning curve of that specific thing, and then over time, the universe will work to put you in the rooms necessary to get you where you need to go. With rejection being divine redirection, though, if you decide that you want to go down a certain route and you say, I just want this one specific outcome, I just want this one specific thing to happen, it can be really difficult because the universe, in its access to basically the algorithm of life, right? It has all of the different outcomes and the different varieties with which things can go, because sometimes things are introduced to us that we don't necessarily care for, or things that are introduced to us we latch onto immediately and are like, this is what I want, this is something that I like. The universe can see those threads that would take us down different avenues and different routes. And ultimately, when you're in a position where you have a limited worldview, you have this tunnel vision of, no, this is the one route I want to take down, this is all I want to do, the universe will often have you slow down, kind of have you take a pause, because it sees a different avenue for you to go down. It sees the benefits of you actively being vulnerable and you doing the things that are most aligned with you energetically, and they see the payout. You may not necessarily see that. You see everything in linear time, linear space, and you want to push for this one outcome. But the universe needs a little bit of wiggle room, because the universe is trying to give you that outcome, but more. So a good rule of thumb, especially if you're trying to manifest something, you need to allow wiggle room. You need to release control. Because at the end of the day, you can want this one specific thing, but the universe is trying to give you this one specific thing plus 5 extra things, 5 extra more blessings, and you're so focused on the one thing that you might miss out on that other 4, or the 5 extra blessings. Ha! Whether you're manifesting or you're on a healing journey or a growth journey, if you're feeling frustrated with where you're currently at, or you're feeling defeated with where you're currently at, that's because those are the moments where the most change is happening. Those are the moments where you are working through the most in your subconscious. And so that is why you are being slowed down. Yes, you probably want that outcome as quickly as possible. Yes, you probably want to just all of a sudden show up as this perfect version of you, which perfection is not really a good ending, because no one is ever going to be perfect. You are always going to be a work in progress, but it doesn't have to be work. You can also enjoy the process of learning and unfolding what it is to be the true, authentic you, outside of people's expectations, outside of people-pleasing tendencies or things like that. Like, you are really meant to narrow down your values, your integrity. Who are you when no one is watching? What do you do when no one is watching? What are the decisions that you make, and how is it that you most want to show up? And then once you start restructuring that, figuring that out, from there, try to get as close as you can. But don't always shoot for just that one specific thing, because you may have a specific lesson that you need to learn on the journey that will change your definition of who you truly are. So to unstuck yourself, we're going to release control. We're going to release these specific timelines that we think need to happen for us to be successful. And we're also going to have to tap into our why. Why is it that you want the things that you want? Is it that you feel creative fulfillment? Is it that you feel validated when people see something that you've done and they say you did a great job? Do you feel accomplished when you do this thing? Or do you like to overcome a challenge? When you focus on your why and your true motivations for why you do what you do and what it is that you most want to do, that is going to create the opportunity for you to explore more, have fun more. And at the end of the day, having fun and being creative are the most high experiences of vibration, because you get to experience the universe creating itself. You get to be a part of that process of the universe experiencing itself, and that true benevolence and joy of what this world does have to offer. When you find ways for you to connect with your true innate self, and you figure out what it is that you most want to do, what messages you most want to bring out, or what kind of vibe you want to bring into any room that you walk into, you can start small. You can start embodying these things now. Sure, you might want to be a millionaire in 6 months, but what does millionaire you do with their time? What is the feeling in their body that they get to experience? And how can you create that feeling in your body right now? So you can sit there as much as you want and picture millionaire you in 6 months, millionaire you in 6 months, millionaire you in 6 months. Sure. Why do you want that $1 million? Why does it have to be in 6 months? Is this coming from a want, from a lack, from you connecting to desire instead of connecting to that experience of ease and that comfort that you feel of not having to worry about money anymore? In what ways can you create that right now? If you have a space that you don't necessarily enjoy being in, you want to be in that new house, you want to be in that new environment, how can you make your environment feel new and refreshed now? What can you do to clean it, or rearrange things, or create art for it to decorate the space that you most want? You don't have to necessarily see yourself as an artist to do these things. They have plenty of, tutorials of like easy little acrylic DIYs or lots of painting ideas. And you get to be creative. You get to be creative in how you express yourself. You get to be creative in how you find your way to this outcome. And you'll be co-creating with the universe instead of trying to force an outcome or work against what the universe is trying to orchestrate for you. And unfortunately, this takes trust. So my last recommendation is that you have to trust your instincts. You have to trust your intuition. Intuition is not reserved for a few people. And I'm telling you this as an intuitive, as a psychic medium. Everyone has access to gifts, to psychic gifts, to mediumship, to connecting with the spiritual world or connecting with that creation of the universe in a way that works best for you and brings you the most comfort. Everyone has access to these things. It's not reserved for a few. Intuition is something that's innate within you. Okay, so I have the definition of intuition right here. It says, intuition is the faculty of knowing or understanding something without reasoning or proof. And intuition is also a form of knowledge that appears in consciousness without obvious deliberation. We all have innate understandings of the algorithm, the media that we get from the world. Ultimately, when you are trying to connect with a different way of being, or you are trying to connect with a different way of perceiving your reality, that does take time to deconstruct the ego a little bit. And the feelings that you get of, no, I'm different from everybody else, I don't have access to my intuition, or it's too hard, or I'm not good at this, that sort of stuff. You have access to it. I'm not lying to you. It's up to you if you think I'm lying, but I figure you're still watching, so maybe you shouldn't. But either way, it can be difficult to start accessing your intuition because that's something that takes confidence. I have been thinking for a while about creating an educational series on how to tap into your intuition, tap into your psychic gifts, to tap into kind of this universal way of knowing, to put you in the driver's seat of your own life and for your own empowerment. Because I genuinely believe that the more of us that are sitting in our own empowerment and authenticity in who we truly are and being able to communicate clearly and concisely with the people around us with love and compassion, the more that we will be able to connect with empathy, the more we'll be able to create the change that we most want to see in ourselves and the world, and we'll be able to utilize our gifts for the greatest good of the universe. But ultimately, I do wish you all of the best on your manifestation journey, your healing journey, your spiritual awakening, because these times can leave you feeling very vulnerable. Because you want to experience this new way of being, you want to experience this shift in perspective, or this idea that you can have good things, you can experience good things, and you can learn to focus on that rather than focusing on the negatives or the drawbacks of the experiences that we have here in this universe. But I wish you absolutely all of the best on your journey. If you are interested in watching any of my pick a card readings, I have plenty of them on the channel here. I am looking to do more of these style videos as well, so let me know if this was something that was helpful for you. And if you'd like to see more of them, leave that in the comments below, because I'm working on being comfortable enough to make these pretty regularly, but we will ultimately see. If you're interested, I do also have a newsletter that is sent out every other Monday. It is the By Priestess bi-weekly Moon Day newsletter, where I channel messages directly from Spirit and I send them directly to your inbox. We just sent one this past Monday, or I sent it out on Tuesday, but ultimately in 2 weeks from now, you could get some channeled guidance and messages for a much smaller collective than my regular pick of cards. But I wish you all of the best. I hope that this video left you feeling more confident and empowered and like you can handle what it is that is in your journey than it found you. And I hope you have a great start or rest of your day whenever you are watching this. And I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.